What's up, y'all? What is up? It's your girl EJ, and welcome back to the recap. Now, today, y'all, we're going to be talking about All American Season 1, Episode 1. Now, y'all, I'm sorry I got this video out late, but we are getting it out. Now, y'all, this episode is going to start out, when everyone is back from the winter break, and they're going to start out with some shots of Simone and Damon, and they're both going to be having flashbacks, of what went down. Damon is going through something with his, quote unquote father, being his coach. And then you got Simone, who over the winter break had her run in with Jordan, and Layla is kind of coming to terms with that whole situation and dealing with that. Not only that, her and Thea are definitely going through something as well, and she's just feeling a lot of pressure as she's coming back into this new semester. Now, y'all, we are going to start off with Amara, is going to be setting up her office. As you know, she has become the president of Brinkston, and she is just kind of getting settled in. Everyone has showed up for her, just checking in on her and bringing her some gifts. Amara's going to let Simone know that, hey, Thea's whole situation, her injury is not your fault. And Simone is going to invite Jordan and Spencer over because, everyone seems to think that Simone is not dealing with this and that, she has a issue with this. So she's just like, let me show you guys. So she invites them over for the brunch that they're going to be having. Now, JR and Damon are definitely bonding, and they have, kind of agreed that they're going to be cool regardless, and they're not going to let their parents' drama come between them. Now, JR is going to bring back a gift that Celine bought for Damon, and he's going to kind of just put the gift down. Damon is not ready to embrace this whole situation with, Celine and, being his mom. Like, it's just a lot. And I can imagine that being a lot to have to deal with. Now, of course, JR is going to ask him, like, hey, did you tell Thea about you possibly transferring to Hawkins? And he's just like, nah, you know what I'm saying? And he was letting him know that, hey, she was going through a lot of stuff. I was there with her, as she did her surgery and, getting her back, her therapy and her, her physical therapy is really hard. So he just didn't want to bring any additional into the mix, so he was just waiting for the right time to tell her, and he really just wanted to concentrate on her, and he wanted her to concentrate on her therapy. So that's the reasoning why he hasn't told her. But of course, he definitely needs to go ahead and let her know. Now, of course, like I just said, Thea is having a hard time with her injury, and she's having a hard time with her therapy, and she's trying to push it. She's trying to get back on the court because she wants to get her spot back. She's really upset with Simone because she feels like Simone sabotaged her on purpose and that there was really no friendship from the beginning, and so this is all things that Thea has definitely made up in her head, but this is where she's at right now, and she's having this conversation. I won't even say it's a conversation, but she's having this argument, with the therapist, trying to tell him that she knows her body, and Damon has to kind of come between them, and just have a conversation with her. For the life of me, y'all, I cannot figure out this whole Thea and Damon thing. Like, at first I was kind of coming around to Thea being cool and being part of the group, but I knew that was going to be short-lived, and now him and Thea together just don't work for me. But anyway, y'all, Spencer's gonna stop by for brunch. Of course, Jordan is not gonna be able to make it due to him having some QB meetings or whatnot, and Spencer's just like, look, I'm just happy to not be the center of attention for once. You know what I'm saying? I'm just happy that I'm not the one with the drama because, it seems like everybody around him has some drama with Cam and Keisha, with what they have going on. And then, of course, you have, Simone, Damon, and Thea, because, they have their little triangle is what I'll call it, because, of course, Simone and Damon are friends, and they were friends prior to him ever getting into this situationship with Thea. And Thea is actually going to be coming to the brunch, so it's just going to be really awkward, and Spencer's just like, look, I'm going to sit back and watch and see what happens. Now, of course, Damon is going to come over and talk to Simone, and he's like, it's cool with her being here, right? And she's just like, I guess. He was like, she was just talking smack. Like, Damon's trying to, settle the situation, and he's trying to make it seem like, oh, she didn't mean it, and that's just not the case. I mean, the way that she came at Simone was way out of line, and she definitely meant it. And then she's gonna go even further and ask Damon to like tell him to come and eat. I'm just like, Thea, now you being real petty right now. Like, everybody trying to give you a pass, but this is like you doing way too much. And then Simone is just like real chill, huh? And yeah, that's a whole thing. We got to talk about that in another video, though. Okay, y'all. So a new story is going to pop on while they're having brunch, and it's going to show Damon practicing at the Hawkins facility. Now, of course, there are some people who know that Damon is thinking about transferring, but of course, Thea is not privy to it. Amara is not privy to it. So when this comes on, you know, of course, Thea is going to have her little baby fit and run out the door, and Amara and Damon are going to talk, and she's just like, you know, you can tell me anything, you know, and it kind of just goes on from there. The brunch is pretty much over at this point. Cam comes in as he's missed everything. And of course, Keisha is giving him all the shade because she doesn't know what's going on with him because he hasn't exactly told her about the situation. However, she's thinking more so along the lines like he's just not wanting to be in this relationship, you know, because she definitely has some commitment issues. So you already know that she's already thinking something totally different from what's going on. Anyway, we are going to cut to a scene where we're going to see Coach Marcus. He's going to be in therapy. Now, he has checked himself into a facility, but unfortunately, Coach Marcus don't want to check himself out of the facility. He's pretty much afraid of going back out into the world. He just kind of wants to sit in this bubble and, you know, not be bothered with anything out in the world at this time. But it does seem like therapy is definitely helping him and definitely get him back recalibrated with his meds and trying to get him back into the right space. But it's him that seems to be, you know, at this point where he's just not ready to move forward and go back and face the world. So anyway, y'all, okay, y'all, so we're going to see Spencer and Simone talking, and Spencer's going to give her one of his Spencer, you know, pep talks, because y'all know Spencer be having these great talks. Like, he can definitely, like, motivate a person and get them back in the right headspace. So he's telling her about his experience and how he had to go back and look at film and see, you know, what it was that he was doing wrong, where he could improve. And so Simone is deciding to take that same advice, and she's going to do that as well. Okay, now your girl Keisha has this whole romantic thing planned for her and Cam, you know, with going to this place for dinner. But we all know that Cam is having some issues money-wise right now. So, of course, Cam can't afford to go to this dinner because Cam has been working all these jobs. But Keisha, you know, doesn't know that just yet. And when he suggests that they make it into a group thing, she is definitely a little bit offended by that, you know, but she kind of tries to play it cool or whatever. And then Cam has to run off. And then she decides that she's going to throw one of her big Keisha Ragers and have this big epic, you know, New Year's Eve party instead, since he wanted to make it into a group thing. Now, your boy Jesse is going to stop by Amara's office and tell her, like, look, hey, you need to get this under control. If we lose, you know, our star baseball player, then this program is going to go to crap, which means the school is going to go to crap because, you know, the scholarships, the donors, all that type of stuff, you're going to be in a very tough situation, and you need to be harder on him. And instead of giving him all this time to think about it, you need to give him a deadline. You need to put the school ahead of being everybody's favorite auntie, you know, and she does try to tell him, like, look, you need to be worried about, you know, your son. And at the end of the day, she's right, but he's also right as well, because now that she's the president of Brunch, she has to put the needs of the school ahead of, you know, certain things. Like, so she does have to be a little more tight with it, and she needs to know what her next moves are going to be if Damon decides that he no longer wants to attend Brunch. So anyway, your boy Damon is going to try to talk to Thea, but she is still acting up, y'all. Like, she is doing a lot right now. And Thea is just really showing us, you know, the old Thea. I'm going to call her the old Thea because the old Thea was very intolerable. But after her and Simone, it looked like they were becoming friends. It looked like Thea was finally beginning to embrace and open up to people and learn what it was like to have friends. And then all of a sudden, she just did a 180 and went into the old Thea. Like that Thea showed up, when Damon is trying to talk to her. And then, Amara is going to call him and she's going to be like, look, well, she doesn't call him. She actually texts him and she needs to speak to him about something important and she needs him to get over there to the office. And he's trying to let her know that. And she's just like, I guess it's somebody else that's more important than me. And I'm just like, girl, you just doing way too much right now. Like, Thea is just giving these vibes of a lot of insecurity. Like, she is so insecure about everything, and everything is always about Thea. And she doesn't even realize, what he gave up to go and be with her during her surgery. You know what I'm saying? This man's father is suffering from Alzheimer's, and he's losing a piece of himself each and every day. And you would, a with that happening, Damon is probably going to want to be with his father as much as he possibly can. You know what I'm saying? And instead, he chose to spend winter break with her instead of with his family. And the selfishness with Thea is just unbelievable, y'all. Okay, y'all. So Amara's going to talk to Damon and she's going to tell him that, he has 48 hours to decide what he needs to do because she needs to put the needs of the school, ahead of everything. And that is very true. Meanwhile, Spencer and Simone are going to go ahead and film her playing so that she can find out where her weaknesses are and work on her game. Now, as she's doing this, of course, your girl Keisha and Nate are going to pop up and Keisha's going to invite Spencer to this party. But, Keisha has an ulterior motive and she kind of plays games too. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's inviting Spencer because she's trying to pull that same move that she pulled way back when they actually came to visit Brinkston, where she tries to make her boyfriend jealous. And that's the same thing that she's trying to do with Cam. And the thing is that she's playing a dangerous game because Cam and Spencer, they definitely have their rivalry. They definitely have their thing between them. But, they're trying to move past that and they're trying to get into another space. But with her, doing this little game that she's doing, that's not cool at all. And y'all know I love me some Keisha, but that's just not cool for her to do. But Spencer's a stand-up guy and Spencer peeps game and he knows everything that's going on and he gets it. But your boy Spencer is always going to be there for his people that he consider his friends. So, I'm not worried about Spencer. So anyway, y'all, your boy Damon is going to go try to see Coach Jesse, I guess, to talk about whatever he needs to talk about. And then he's going to run into your boy Jordan. Now, I think this has been a long time coming. I think that everybody kind of saw this situation escalating at some point. And he and Jordan are going to be having a conversation. And Jordan is just going to be like, are you happy with yourself? Because the way Jordan sees is that he, rocked Simone's world in the sense of he just blew it up. And then he starts dating Thea. You know what I mean? Like, because he feels like because of her whole situationship with Damon, that whole thing where they were, emotionally entangled, I guess you could say, that's really what caused he and her to, eventually break up. And he just confronting the source of his feelings. And we all knew that it was going to happen. And they come to blows, especially because right now Damon is going through something. And so, I mean, it's just like the wrong, probably a conversation that they should have had, but at the wrong time because it was just going to lead to a fight. So anyway, Spencer's going to have to come in there and break it up. And Simone, of course, is going to ask Damon if he's okay, and they're going to talk, and she's going to find out about Amara, giving him the 48 hours. And he's just like, he's like, can you talk to her for me? And he's like, she's just telling him, like, look, if she gave you 48 hours, then that's probably all the time that she can give you, because she knows her auntie and she knows that her auntie would give him more time if she could. But unfortunately, time is of the essence when it comes down to this situation. So it just is what it is. Okay, y'all. So you can visibly see that Damon and Simone, have this connection. They have this clear emotional connection between them. It kind of sort of always shows every time they're in a scene together. And, as usual, your girl Simone is always going to be there for Damon, but she does tell him that maybe he should be talking to Thea. And he's like, I would, if I could talk to her. And I think that's one of the biggest things, between he and Thea is that I think they just kind of got together off of this I don't even know what you want to call it. I mean, Thea goes through that whole situation that she goes through, and then they kind of just get together. But I don't know if it was like the right timing for them. I just don't think that they are a good fit, to be honest. Like, that's my thing. Not that I just want Simone and Damon to be together, which I do. But I just think that Damon and Thea just don't click together. I just don't think that they work well together. So, okay, y'all. So Spencer and Jordan are going to be leaving the campus, and Spencer's just going to be telling Jordan, like, look, you and Simone need closure. Like, y'all need to talk, and y'all need to be able to move past this. Because at the end of the day, the thing between Jordan and Simone is definitely over, but Jordan and Simone were always friends before anything. And, it's sad to see them in this awkward space that they're in, and it would be nice to just see them go back to being friends, but you can tell that there's some unsaid things and some closure that needs to happen in order for them to be able to move forward. Now, Spencer's just letting his boy know, and then Cam is going to roll up and they're going to see him in his food uniform, and he's going to ask them, like, hey, don't tell nobody. And then Spencer's just going to let both of them know, like, look, y'all got the same doggone problem. Like, the women that y'all say y'all care so much about, y'all just won't talk to them. Y'all won't communicate with them. Like, y'all need to talk. Like, Spencer always dropping gems, y'all. Too bad him and Olivia can't work it out, because Olivia is a bit much, but I just wish they could work it out. Or I just wish that Spencer could find the one for him, because Spencer is an A1 guy, y'all. Like, he just needs to find that chick that is the right one for him. So anyway, y'all, your boy Coach Marcus is finally going to turn on the TV and look out into the outside world. He's going to turn it on SportsCenter, and he's going to see what's happening with, Damon. And this is going to make him immediately turn off the TV. But at that point, you can kind of see that Coach Marcus may be coming to terms with that he needs to leave. Like, it's time for him to go face the situation. So meanwhile, Cam is going to go ahead and take Spencer's advice, and he's going to go talk to your girl Keisha and let her know what's going on. And all this ultimately does is just make her even more upset that he didn't talk to her, that he didn't tell her what was going on. And, I get where she's coming from, but at the same time, I don't feel like she's really looking at it from his perspective or from his point of view, that she's only looking at it from her perspective, because this is a lot for him to swallow. This was his entire career that has gone down the drain now. You know what I'm saying? He's losing his scholarship. We all know, where he comes from, and he knows that he was counting on this scholarship. So him having to work all of these jobs and then have to, deal with the fallout of everything that's going on around him, it feels like she should have been a little more understanding of this instead of reacting the way that she reacted. But, it is. So anyway, y'all, we got jokesters in this house today. So okay, y'all. So your girl Simone is going to be practicing, and she's going to see your girl Thea come out on the court, and she's going to visibly be struggling with the bag because of her shoulder. So of course, Simone, being the bigger person, goes over and tries to help her. But Thea, being the person that she is, decides that she doesn't want her help, and then even insinuates, I want to hurt my other shoulder, because she's still saying that Simone is the cause of her injury. And then she lets her know that, hey, you could never be me. And Simone tries to walk away from the situation, and then Thea hits that doggone tennis ball beside her head. And let me tell y'all, I would not give a darn if Thea's shoulder was hurt or not. If I was Simone, this was the time that she needed her ass whooped, y'all. Like, Thea just need her ass whooped just one time, and I think she'll be all right. Like, she was doing too much, hitting that ball beside her head like that. And then they go into this whole thing where they're about to have a tennis match. And I'm like, girl, your shoulder is hurt. Like, why are you trying to play tennis during the middle of your rehabilitation? You know what I'm saying? But she's so angry. She's so, I don't want to say hurt, because Simone hasn't done anything to hurt her, but she's just angry and selfish. And I'm just like, okay, whatever. If you hurt that shoulder again, that's on you. So anyway, they have this tennis match, and what ends up happening is that that Thea actually re-injures herself, and the coach sees this, and of course she gets on Thea, and Thea's gonna get banned from coming out to the court basically until she is fully medically healed. And then your girl Simone is also going to get an earful from your coach, letting her know that, hey, you're not ready. You almost let a one-armed Thea basically beat you. So when she gets better, she's going to get her spot back. So that's going to even mess with Simone even more. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, she's just a placeholder until Thea gets back, is pretty much what her coach is telling her. You know, I don't like this coach either, by the way, y'all. I'm just going to put that out. Damon is finally going to open up the gift that his biological mom, Celine, sent to him. And inside of there is going to have a note that tells him that she's happy that he and JR, you know, found each other. And she gives him this book full of pictures of these two together, you know, when they were younger. And then she also lets him know, here's this book where you guys can make more memories. And in that moment, I think, you know, his heart is softened. And I think that he makes up his mind to stay there for his brother's sake. But then your boy Jesse has to come in there, and instead of him trying to make amends with his son and trying to really, you know, apologize, and because, I mean, honestly, I don't know what you can say after you do such a thing, but there's some kind of way that you can at least try, that you can make an effort. But Jesse is just so bullheaded, and he just will not try to make amends. And so Jesse is where a lot of Damon's anger lies. It's not so much as with Celine as it is with Jesse, because in his eyes, Celine would have kept him had Jesse not made her make a choice and make her give her son up. You know what I'm saying? And I think that he is going to end up forgiving and trying to have a relationship with Celine at some point when he's ready. But I think this whole thing between him and Jesse is going to take a lot. And instead of Jesse coming to him, you know, as someone that's humble and someone that's sorry, he comes to him more from the angle of, are you going to be this selfish and, you know, do this to your brother? You know what's going to happen to the program. And even though he loves JR, in this moment, I think this moment, all he could see was the fact that he can't stand this man and that he would not be able to play for him. And I think that's when he changes his mind. And then lastly, he just tells Jesse, like, look, I'm not thinking about you. And then he kind of walks away. Meanwhile, we're going to shoot to another shot where JR and Thea are actually going to run into each other. And he's going to see where Thea has re-injured her arm. And Thea's like, you know, you're not scared that he's going to leave you? And he's like, no, like, you know, we're brothers and we already made a pact that we wouldn't let, you know, this come between us. And he just lets her know, like, he just gives her some real good advice, because he tells her, like, look, he gave up spending time, you know, with his family in order to be with you and be there throughout your surgery. And he didn't tell you because he didn't want to affect your recovery. You know, and he just told her straight up, like, look, it looks like, you know, you're losing tennis, you know, don't lose him too. And I think in that moment, she might have realized exactly what she's doing, because the girl is just selfish. Now, y'all, I ain't even gonna lie. I just want them to break up. Like, I just need them to break up. So anyway, y'all, while he's having that talk with her, your girl Nate is having to have the same type of talk with Keisha and just get her to understand that, hey, look, you need to look at this from Cam's point of view. You're mad at him, but what about the fact that he had to go all the way back home, tell his parents that he lost his scholarship, you know, that he has to work all of these jobs in order to be able to continue to go to school. Like, this is a lot that he's dealing with, but instead of you looking at it from his point of view, you're being pretty selfish about the whole situation. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like JR and Nate are just always having to clean up some messes. It feels like they always having to have these conversations with their friends, because sometimes they just don't be seeing things from different angles. So anyway, y'all, your boy Spencer is going to come in while they're having this conversation, and then he's going to, you know, talk to Keisha, and then he's going to bring her upstairs to where Cam is, where Cam has this romantic dinner planned for them, and they're able to finally talk to each other and finally, you know, get some things out in the open and let it be known that they both, you know, have to work on this, you know, this communication thing, but that they want to work on it with each other and together. So I think these two are going to be okay, y'all. So anyway, another conversation that needs to be had is going to be had, and that's with your boy Jordan and your girl Simone. He's going to stop by to talk to her, but he's going to notice that Simone is visibly upset about something else, and she's going to talk to him about what's going on with her coaches and tennis, and he's just going to let her know, like, look, it is not our fault that we got our shots because something happened with other people on our teams, meaning he's talking about the whole Wade situation with himself, and then the Thea injury with Simone, and just letting her know this is not her fault, and to remind her that she's not anybody's number two, and that when Thea comes for her number one spot, that there doesn't need to be a number one spot because she's number one. She has to show the coaches that she is the number one, instead of allowing all of this to get into her head about, Thea coming back to get her spot. There doesn't need to be a spot left when Thea tries to come back. Jordan is also good at these pep talks, y'all. So Jordan gives her that pep talk, and Simone realizes in that moment that she has to go back to the Simone she was, that Simone that is hungry, that Simone that, will put it all in and leave it all on that court. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that, Simone is definitely going to be a force to be reckoned with for Thea, because she has this newfound, attitude about how she's going to take this, and she's not going to let these coaches and anybody else tell her that Thea deserves that spot any more than she deserves that spot. So, it is what it is. So after Jordan gives that rah-rah speech, your girl Simone lets Jordan know, hey, that she wants him to be happy, that above all, that's the main thing. Because like I said, these two were friends far before anything else, and she just wants her friend to be happy, and he wants the same for her. And in this moment, I feel like these two finally get their closure, and they're going to be able to move forward and be friends and get past everything. Hey, y'all. Thea is going to come and apologize to Damon, y'all. She's going to see the light, and she's going to decide that she was probably being a little bit selfish, and she's going to apologize to him and let him know that no matter what decision he makes, that she is going to be there for him, and that they're going to, work this thing out. Now, I'm not even going to lie, y'all. I was like, ugh. Really? Like, I really didn't want them to reconcile, but I knew they would reconcile, because there has to be a bigger reason why these two are going to end up breaking up, because at some point these two are going to break up because they just don't belong together. So anyway, y'all, they reconcile, and Damon lets her know right then that he's made his decision, and he sends that message to Amara, and you get that scene where you see Amara looking at the message where he tells her that he's decided to leave Brixton. So your boy Damon is going to decide to go to Hawkins instead. Now, honestly, I feel like that's a whole nother mistake, but I think I'll put that all in another video and talk about Damon and his whole situation. But at the very end, you're going to see your boy Marcus is going to decide to leave, and he's going to show up on Amara's porch, letting her know, hey, I'm back. What is it that I can do to help? You know what I'm saying? He can't see his village burn. And I think that in this moment, Coach Marcus is probably going to be the only one that's going to get Damon back to Brixton, y'all. Because him and Jesse, they ain't going to be able to reconcile. It's going to take a lot for them to be able to reconcile. And Jesse just doesn't seem like the type who is going to humble himself in order to help Damon process and get through this whole situation that Jesse created from the beginning, So anyway, y'all, that's what's up with All American Season 2, Episode 1. Let me know what y'all thought about this whole episode. Go ahead and get the conversation started down below. Until next time, guys. Peace.